was a weekend, or it's been a weekend of big games, and Scorecard on Channel 1 TV is the perfect place to break down those big games and also observe the highlights. Shout outs to all of you guys who congregate every Sunday night to watch the show. Drop us a shout from wherever you are getting to us, from inside the country and also from inside the continent and globally. If you tune in from even Antarctica, you should drop us a shout from there, because I want to know what the vibe is outside there. There was the Super 2 clash earlier today between Accra Hearts of Oak and Kumasi Asante Kotoko. And just like the form guide has been depicted over the years, the away team truly enjoy playing in Accra. In the Premier League, there was Spurs Man United, absolutely dramatic game. When you go to the red side or you go to Manchester, it was City hosting Liverpool and Pep Guardiola pouring salt into Arne Slot's wounds, like I have said on other platforms, coaching or it was Sarkin. And then you could talk about, you know what was happening in Spain. Real Madrid struggling with Vallecano. It's been a thing. We'll be talking about that today. Barcelona are currently in action, so there's a lot to digest on the show. Our tactical board is back in action today, so Coach Nimley will be doing his thing, as you know him to. Drop us a shout, drop us a message, and let's get the action going. Let's do a quick turnaround. When we come back, I'll introduce my two brothers and we'll get talking. Welcome back to Scorecard here on Channel 1 TV. Let me welcome my good friend and brother, Dennis Nyako, globe-trotting, suffering Chelsea fan. Bro, Charlie, what's good?
I'm good.
How has it been observing hot and cold Maresca? Interesting coach. Are you one of the Maresca in or Maresca out people?
Charlie, me, I've just been hanging in there, man, because there are days I feel like, this guy, you know, how he's going to go. Then another moment he's scoring somebody 3-0, you know, winning the Club World Cup, and then the next moment you're losing somewhere. So I think it's been blowing hot and cold.
It's a toxic relationship.
Charlie, how you go do? We just hang in there, wait for the best, you know.
Nice one. Coach.
Bozu.
Oh, but why have you? We promised to do something.
The truth of the matter is, I couldn't go to church today.
You didn't go to church.
I was not in church today. That's why. But once I got the outfit, will carry me to church, then will bring me here.
So that's an unusual thing, because you are very punctual with church.
Yeah, church. I had to sort out some few things, so nice. I just made sure the family went, and then I stayed back and then sort myself out.
But good weekend so far?
No, yeah, it's been a beautiful weekend. At least there are times where you watch football games and you wish every day was a weekend.
Yeah.
So that we keep doing this over and over
chill,
again.
Relax, you know.
Because
some of us, you don't look forward to it. The moment's international break, Charlie. The mood, you know, it's this subdued.
Next week is that. Oh boy,
it's the final one for the year at least. So
we'll
take it. Let's get straight into highlights, guys. Like I said, send us a message from wherever you are getting to us from, in the country, on the continent, worldwide, wherever it is. Let's give me a shout on wherever you are. Let's get into some local action to begin with. So it's the super clash between Accra Hearts of Oak and Kumasi Asante Kotoko. The game was played in Accra, and as Asante Kotoko have been doing lately, they have turned Accra into their own home ground. The form recently played out once again in this game. Let's get the highlights, and then we'll come back in studio and discuss. Sketchy attendance overall sketchy performance for both teams, penalty to win. Dennis, let me start off with you on this one. That's the biggest game on the Ghanaian football calendar.
Actually, you know, Ben, to be honest, this fixture, this is like our El Clasico.
Yeah,
and
it is.
It's like every single year it begins. It's like it keeps on diminishing. You know, I'm not. You can't even. You know, coach was making a statement whether you could even see. He was not even seeing the ball in the picture in the video.
But could you see? I couldn't see the ball.
And I thought,
and because the picture is insane. Because if you watch the pictures, you know, it's concerning to know that this is the biggest game in Ghana in terms of our league.
Very.
And this is what we see. And even in terms of attendance, every single season, you realize that the numbers keep diminishing, and it's a problem because how many people even knew the Hearts was playing Kotoko this weekend? No, it was all about, you know, this Liverpool City game. Even the lesser fixtures even had more prominence than the Arsenal game. So I think in that context we need to do more. But back to the game itself, I saw the penalty that caused has to concede, and I was disappointed the defender. You know, at this level where you are playing the biggest game, you know, in the calendar, you don't. It was a very lazy tackle, and for me, even if I'm a coach, and you do this in this kind of fixture, you sit on the bench for 10 games, because it was a very bad. It was quite clumsy, and then that gave Kotoko the lead. But in terms of the game itself, Kotoko, you know, dominated the game from the first half, and then the second half, that the Hearts got in, but they just couldn't find a way to go past the Kotoko defense. But for me, I'm disappointed because from the Hearts perspective, because Hearts hasn't won this game since 2023.
That's
in
a long
Accra,
time.
and meaning that they've not been able to beat Kotoko in 4 fixtures, and that's a problem. I don't know, it's becoming a mental thing. I knew in the past that there was this saying that Kotoko always had the.
Let me say a good evening to Samuel Boedu wherever he is. Let me just say a random good evening to Samuel Boedu wherever he is.
Yeah, because and to, all fairness to Hearts of Oak, I think this season they look a bit more structured under Didi Dramani. They've not lost the game yet, and I think they've been doing so well. But I was thinking that they could go by this psychological block against playing Kotoko at Accra, because in recent games they've still not managed to find a way past Kotoko. And I thought there was enough motivation for the players to get to understand that this was a match they had to win. Because you can't be proud if you're a Hearts fan not able to beat your Accra rival in 4 fixtures at Accra. So disappointed Hearts lost, but I think kudos to Kotoko, they deserved it.
Nice one. Coach, let me have your thoughts on the game. You're looking very pensive.
You know what? Anytime I'm here, I want to be able to watch a football game and to be able to analyze it tactically. I couldn't see anything. I watched the game in bits and pieces. There were times I struggled to see what was happening. I don't know whether it was the quality of the camera angle. We watched the European games. You can call it sit and then okay, this is the system that is being played, this is the movement. In our case, I couldn't see that. And the game, look, the quality of the game, look, we will struggle. I think we are 10, 15 years behind, the rest of Africa.
And it extends every year.
Every year it gets worse.
Every year you don't do anything to rectify it. It gets worse.
It gets worse. Because this surely cannot be the quality of Hassan Kotoko. It can't be. For me, I won't accept that, because I've had the privilege of watching quality Hassan Kotoko game. I remember when the two teams met in the Continental Final, the maiden edition of the Confederation Cup. I remember very well the quality on display. There was Charles Taylor, there was Don Bote, the full house, both in Accra and in Kumasi. At the time, the whole of Africa and the rest of the world got assembled in Ghana here. We've fallen so much behind that. When you even watch, look, the place can't even control.
The basics.
Charlie, look, I don't envy the job of the coaches at all. From somebody like Masao Didi Dramani and then Mr. Zito. I mean, I know them personally.
That's two of the biggest names in the land.
I know them personally, and I know the quality within them. If you look at the sort of material they have to work with and impact knowledge on, at that level, the coach shouldn't be teaching you how to control and pass. The coach shouldn't be teaching you the proper weight behind your pass. These are basics. And these things are taught at the coach level. Kotoko, yes, won. Congratulate them for winning. But I want to look beyond this game. I want to look beyond. I want to look beyond Ghana. And if this is indeed the standard of our most biggest game on our calendar, we are 15 years behind. That's
Big
what I'm
trouble.
going to say.
Big trouble. Let's go foreign and let's get to England. The Tottenham Hotspur Stadium is our first stop for the night. It was Spurs hosting Man United. It's a fixture United had struggled in the last couple of games or so. They were determined to rectify it, but this time both teams split points. Let's get the highlights. It doesn't get any more dramatic than that. I mean, those are the moments you love when you watch the game. Coach, we watched that game together, and the drama in that game was absolutely peak. Ruben Amorim says something I like. He says, when you can't win the game, find a way not to lose. Perfect. And it looks like that's exactly what United were up to in that game.
I think, to be honest with you, it was a game Man United deserved to win. Because if you look at the timing of the goal when they took the lead, and how defensive solid they were.
About the 84th minute.
And then at that time, when you concede, if care is not taken, every head naturally will drop. And that was exactly what happened. And then just after conceding the equalizing goal, they then concede again about 3-4 minutes later. They were now losing the game. But credit must be given where credit is due. Last season, this is the game Man United would have lost. Last week, we saw them come back again to rescue it against Nottingham Forest. They actually nearly won it against Forest when there was a goal line clearance. But yesterday, this Spurs team last season met United 4 times. 3 domestically, twice in the league, once in the Carabao Cup, and then continentally for the 4th time. They won every game they played against Man United. So if you're a United fan, and this is a team you've lost
multiple times again,
4 on the row, you go there. You were at the verge of winning. You were at the verge of what? Losing. And then you're able to rescue this. I want to look at it holistically and say, of the last 5 games, 15 points. Man United, for the very first time under this manager, got 11 out of 15. I think that is a huge step forward. Now there's an international break. When they come back, I've looked at that fixtures. I think there's some very favorable, decent fixtures in there that they can go and play and see whether they can get closer. If you look at the log, because Arsenal didn't win, if Arsenal had won, they would have stretched it. They didn't win. Man City won. The rest of the teams are 20, 19, 18, 18, 18, 18.
All batched out about 12.
So everybody there is in and among the mix. You win today, you are up. You lose today, you are down. So they now have to focus and see whether they can continue with this run. But I have been impressed with the quality of Brian Mbeumo, the quality of Ahmad, the quality of Matthias Cunha, and to some extent, Casemiro. Casemiro's biggest problem is the fact that after 65, 70 minutes, he tends to struggle because he doesn't have the leg. This is the fastest league in the world. So if you are not that young and you are or you are required or demanded to do a lot, like he's demanded to do, it is very natural that somebody will come and replace him. It's just so unfortunate that Manuel Ugarte, who was bought to actually come and aid Casemiro in doing what we normally would call the dirty job in the midfield, breaking up the play like Moise Caicedo does for Chelsea. He's been completely off the pace. Anytime Casemiro is substituted and he is brought in, you can see the drop in class.
What's the problem with him? Because
I don't know. Because
you and I both know that he knows how to do the job of at least breaking up play, intercepting. Why do you think his settling process has taken so long?
I don't know, but I think he should look at himself and then ask himself some basic questions. Is it that he's not adapting? This is a manager who he thrived under. That compelled PSG to come and buy for over close to 60 million. This manager comes, he's made it clear that he's a player he really fancy. So if you are playing under somebody you've played under, you are not naturally new to the system. I would have thought that he would have actually been an integral member of a system he thrived under. Yes, I accept it's in a different league, but as a player, once you know what the manager requires of you, I mean, integrating yourself and bringing the best out of your teammates shouldn't be a problem. But in the case of my manager, I think his confidence is shattered when it comes to passing the ball after winning the ball.
Yeah.
His biggest problem is actually not winning the ball. He does so. But once he wins the ball, his passing are so poor, he tends to give it away very cheaply. And the moment that is done, there's pressure on the team.
Yeah.
But you can only hope, if you are a United fan, that he will improve.
Yeah.
But I believe strongly that the Man United we have seen over the past 10 years, as compared to this is looking like something very, very good.
No.
Yeah, I mean, it's my team, it's the team I support, and like I've said, it is not Garnacho, it's not Anthony, it's not Rashford, it's not Leo. It is Ahmad.
Garnacho is flourishing somewhere.
Flourishing under who?
He's flourishing under Maresca.
What?
Hey.
You play against Wolverhampton,
No, but
the worst team in the league.
Did you see did you see the pace? Did you see the run?
And I'm saying this is against Wolverhampton.
Yeah, no,
It's expected.
It's a start.
No,
it's a start.
You see, I am so much, I'm so much used to seeing Garnacho do these sort of things. The consistency
Over a stretch,
is what is going to count.
which is fair.
Can he guarantee that consistency? I don't think so.
Maresca will convert.
Forget about Maresca.
I'm saying it's a start.
You are here.
You move from that stage and get there.
You are here
It's a
crying.
start.
You
It's
are
a
here.
start. You
but
get there.
You yourself, you are not sure of Maresca. Today he's sleeping. Tonight when he's awake. And you are praising. When you were asked to talk about the man, you couldn't say a lot about him. But the point
my
I'm
God.
making is that there's an improvement.
Yeah.
United, I believe, would have lost that game yesterday. They would have lost the game about a week ago. 11 out of a possible 15 in the last 5 games. It's a positive start. And it can only get better, I think, under this manager.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Thomas Frank
Yeah.
and what he's doing at Spurs. They are struggling at home. Home form been very poor. Away form has been decent. What's going on with them? And they seem to have issues creating against competent teams. I use that word advisedly.
Yeah, I get it. And it's the home thing is crazy because I think they've won just one game at home. They've struggled to win at home and seem to have a good record when they're playing away from home. But there's one thing that is very it's peculiar to this Spurs team. They don't have they are struggling to score goals. The strikers cannot score enough of the goals. As of now, their best, the highest goal scorer is Van der Ven, who is a defender. That should tell you something. So, and I also think that they struggle against the teams when against the team they have to dominate. When it's a counter-attacking situation where they have to play on the counter-attack, it's easier because they have Kudus and all of those guys who can run and get it. But they have a goal-scoring problem, and I think they've tried to. And I think Thomas Frank is still not. He's still not really gotten who he wants to play up front. Today is Richarlison, tomorrow is Tel. The next moment he's playing this other Kolomwani. So he's still not
a lot of mixing up, chopping and
exactly,
changing.
and I get it because nobody has really proven that he wants to take on that mantle. So he has to keep on chopping and changing and all the time. But he has to fix that problem because there are certain games that they will have to find a directory of scoring, and that is something they need to solve. So for Spurs, if they can get someone who will be giving them the goals, then they can solve a part of the problem. Because they seem to be doing so well on the road. When it's a counter-attacking situation, they have the pace up front, to do well in those situations. But like I said, the goal scoring problem, and Richarlison, for me, I've seen him like a lot of times this season, and he's been very poor. And he scores this goal against United, and he's taking off his shirt.
That's typical Richarlison. He will go on a 10-game barren run, score one goal, and act crazy.
And he's been very, very poor because after Son left and then Kane left earlier, I expected Richarlison to take hold of this striking role. But you can see that he's still not convinced Thomas Frank rightfully because he's not playing well. And there's a reason why players like Tel and then Kolomwani are given such responsibilities because I don't think Tel is even there yet. He's just a young player who is coming in. To give him that responsibility of striking for Spurs at this time, I think it's a bit too heavy. So I think it's time. It's about time that Richarlison comes into the game, but probably they might be looking into the transfer market again in January to solve that problem.
Well, that will be, I don't know, striker number what for Spurs because they've been in the market for quite a number of forwards in the market, both on loan and permanently. Timo Werner just recently comes to mind. Let's take a quick break here on the show. That's our first break. When we come back, we have some tactical analysis for you on some of the other games that were played. Stay with us here on Scorecard. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Scorecard here on Channel 1 TV. Let me read a few messages and then we'll get into our next highlights for the day. Let's get into the messages. This one here is from Bruno from Quill. He says, Amorim should stop doing too much whenever we are winning a game. Because whenever Casemiro is taking off and we tend to bottle it. Just look at Melo and Ugarte whenever they come on as subs. By the way, we are 1 point away from top 4. This one here is from Dan from Ablekuma. It says, good evening, Scorecard. The slot machine is malfunctioning and must be sent back to the workshop. Liverpool is in big trouble. All the money spent this transfer window has not paid off. And then you can go to Locomotion from Ashale Boutre says that, believe me, at this point, Casemiro is better than Ugarte. I wish today their coach will agree with me. This one here, so Farouk Headliner says, I like how Maresca is managing Esteval. I believe he will be activated fully next season. As for Uncle Tosin, dear. Let's get to the highlights. Sunderland Football Club hosted Arsenal at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland are the surprise package this season. They managed to get a draw from this game. Dramatic game as well. Arsenal probably thought they had won it, but let's check out the highlights. Big game. I thought it was always going to be a tricky encounter, and that's exactly how it played out. Coach, tactically, what are we picking up from this one?
So many things. Look, I don't know, but for everybody who supports Arsenal, admittedly, Sunderland are doing very well.
Very.
But I still do maintain it's a game Arsenal should have won, without a doubt. Now, unlike Arsenal, the first goal they conceded was shocking to me. Because if you've got Saliba, you've got Gabriel, you've got Califiori, you've got Timber, Declan Rice, those guys. These are tall defenders. Yeah. Normally, their game is built on what? Aerial duels. Arsenal, we've been told, are the most efficient team on set pieces. And like I said on the Republic of Football, I don't think those set piece coaches are only brought in to teach their teams how to score from set pieces and then leave out their ability to defend on set pieces. I think the first goal was a very poor goal on the part of Arsenal. Look at it. It's a route one football. If I pause it here, Arsenal is in total control. But shockingly, instead of them attacking the ball, they backpedal and then they allow the ball to bounce. Arteta should be looking at that and telling them, no, that cannot be allowed to happen. If you allow it to bounce, you should be picking out the second ball. The ball bounces off the turf, and Arsenal, again, they were not the first to respond. Look at it. It bounced. And then look at the movement. Let me just stop this. Look at that. Once it bounced, look at the number of Arsenal players in and around that duel there. If you highlight all of them, just a second, if you highlight all of them there, all the Arsenal guys, 1, 2, 3, they should be having this under total control. Total control. But as to how they failed to defend the first ball, the ball bounced, they were not first to the second ball, and they allow the defender, this is their former player, I was told from the commentator that he was a former player, so he was eager to get there first. He got there first. Look at the strike. This is the team that have considered how many goals? 3 goals in 10 games. For them to be giving goals like this away, very
this goal, they had gone 13 hours.
13 hours.
Without conceding
the goal. And look at the goal. If you press this, it goes there, bam. And the guy is typical defender. Got in the opportunity he least expect, just blasted the ball.
The ball with so much power.
They didn't win it. He picks it up, boom, into the back of the net.
Keeper is not
giving the goalkeeper any chance whatsoever to rescue the situation. So that was the first goal. Now, Arsenal came back into it. Look, I love the Sunderland coach. He did something that I would have done. For him, yes, he did it, but he delayed. But I would have done it immediately. The goalkeeper gave the ball to this player here. Look at it. He was behaving to be prime Andre Pirlo. Look at that. He gave the ball away, and then Saka picked it up. But I'm going to start talking about it now. Now look, if you pause it here, look at the goalkeeper. He gave the ball to you. And he's done this, meaning
Can get it back.
there was a pressure. So give it back to him and let him distribute it elsewhere. The guy completely ignored the goalkeeper.
Try to turn around.
Believing that he was prime. Look, I've never seen a better player than Sergi Busquets in recent times.
Yep. Under the press.
Under the press.
Yeah.
He would just, by the time you get, he's seen you already. He does something, he turns, you are out of it, and the team is transiting. And this is what the coach did, which I admire. And every coach who is serious and you know what you are doing, that's what, just after this 2-3 minutes, he pulled him off quick. Come and sit down. What sort of misbehavior was that? Because
Even quick.
Quick. You see, you were playing against Arsenal.
Yep.
You don't present, these guys are hungry lions.
Yep.
They want to win the league.
Yep.
They saw this as an opportunity. They were trailing at this time. They were waiting to pounce. And I was happy that Arsenal punished them after this sloppy performance from that defender. And if you clearly wrote it, look at it. Prime and Repello got dispossessed. 1, 2, Saka, boom, into the back of the net.
Prime and Repello is killing me.
Repello himself wouldn't behave like that. Then, not too much to say on this goal, but just to credit Trossard.
That was such a good
Jesus
finish.
Christ. Look, at this stage, whatever Arsenal were doing, Sunderland had men behind the ball. Look at the number of Sunderland players. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The entire
Literally
outfield
everybody
players.
was, yep.
Just look at it. About 8 of them in the box, only 2 in the rest. So there was no space. You can't pick the pass. They'll outnumber you. They'll close you down. They'll deal with the situation. So at this place, it had to come down to the individual brilliance. No coach will teach you this. So look at what Trossard did. He got the ball, 1v1, teased him onto his right foot, pick his spot. Ooh, that was absolutely sweet and delicious.
Amazing.
Now, Mikel Arteta needed to coach his team to win. This was a goal worthy or deserving
Of 3 points.
of 3 points. But this is what Arteta did. Now, the moment Arsenal scored, at the time they scored, they were so much on top of Sunderland, dominating Sunderland. I felt that he should have allowed them to continue with that. He didn't do that, and this was what he did. And the goal they conceded will clearly reveal that to everybody. Now, at this moment, yes, I think he's built this team. The foundation of this team is defending.
Yeah.
How many weeks have we not come here to credit him about the quality of defense? Even right here, you said they went what? 13
hours.
But there were times where their goalkeeper would be singing and playing in the goal because the ball would not come to him. He would even cross his legs and sit there.
He should work remotely.
He should work remotely.
Yeah.
As I went to come and just let's. That is how good they've been defensively.
Yeah.
But that is not to say that you cannot be undone. You have to be smart. Because you are that good at it, you don't invite your opponent to come for you to show us how good you are. Now, at the time of considering the goal, look, there was Timber, Calafiori, Saliba, Gabriel, the one they bought from Spain, that defender. Mascara. There was Zubimendi. There was Declan Rice, 7. And even Moreno, at the time, who was playing as a makeshift number 9, had been withdrawn into the half of Arsenal. Look at how deep Moreno was. This is him. Okay? Very, very deep. This is Saka. Again, these 2 guys only. The rest of the 8 Arsenal players were all in the defensive shape. Virtually inviting Sunderland. Okay, if you invite them, they will come.
And they are the home team.
They're the home team.
Yep.
At the time, they were chasing the game. So when you roll this again, I'll point out something. Now, let me pause it here. Good. Let it go. When it comes back, I'll pause it. But that was a brave goal by Broby. I mean, he needed to be brave. He needed to show his intent. Because, look, we all know Gabriel. I believe he's the best defender in the league. But one thing I don't like, that I normally would not encourage from my defenders, is to get yourself involved in the physical battle. If I pause this here, at this stage, as at when this cross was being delivered into the box, this is the cross, into the box here. If you clearly count, the Arsenal team had 3 centre-backs in addition to their full-backs all cranked in the 18-yard box. But one would have thought that they would do so sharing the responsibility equally. You pick this, let me pick this, let me pick. This was clear lack of communication on the part of the Arsenal backline. Because in terms of numbers, this 1, 2, 3, 4. But look here, there were 2v1 on Gabriel. Correct? There were 2v1 on Gabriel. This is Gabriel here. And he was together with Brobe and then the other guy. So he had a lot to deal with. But look at him. There's somebody here not having anybody to deal with. But they were all centre-backs.
Yep.
I agree that when you have the 3 centre-backs, they are not supposed to be more than 8 yards apart from each other. So the arrangement was good, but the responsibility of each of them was not clearly defined. So I believe they got confused. Because this was the time that Arteta had just introduced the one they bought. What's the name again? Mascherano, isn't it? Mascherano. Arteta had just introduced. When he came, you could see him doing his sound like this, telling Gabriel, now he's 3 back, 5, 3, 5, 3, 3, 5. Share the responsibility. And then let's put it there. When you roll this, let me pause it here. At this stage, shockingly, there was a Sunderland player unmarked. And Gabriel, and look at these 2. This is the point I was making. Look at these 2 Arsenal guys. Look at them. It's more or less 1 minute. It's more or less a 2v1. 2 of you on one player doing nothing. Okay? But even that, the player won the ball. They didn't win it. The Sunderland player was the one who won the ball. And when he did, it was now a loose ball between Gabriel and Brobe. Brobe, we all know, he's a Ghanaian. He's ate a lot of kenke. Very stout, big, powerful. Look at that.
Yep. Very athletic
Acrobatic.
player.
Look,
Very athletic player.
if you look at the ball, look, he had no chance whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I think the goalkeeper made it a bit easy.
He hesitated.
He should have stayed because it was a clear battle between he and Gabriel. So he should have stayed to what?
Yep.
But the moment he committed himself, all Brobe needed to do was to get to the ball first. And the moment he got there first, the result was obvious. And Arteta did something. Let me just highlight it. He chose to defend when he was 2-1. But just at the time of conceding the goal, what did he do? He now allowed Arsenal to open up. From the highlight, they nearly won it. Which then meant that he should have allowed them to do the things they were doing, to stay on the front foot. So to push Sunderland, look, there have been, at times, the best way to defend is to get hold of that object and push your opponent backwards. Don't invite him. You see, when you invite things onto yourself, a loose ball, you get punished. An error from an individual player, you get punished. That is what you need to avoid. But Sunderland have shown that, look, if you can maximize and make sure you get something from your home games, you do well in the league.
Well, Sunderland Football Club still doing their thing as the surprise package of the season. This would have felt like a victory for them. This would feel like a big defeat for Arsenal because they thought this was a game they could have won. Granit Xhaka was also at the heart of it all. Let's move it on with the highlights and let's get to that game between Chelsea and Wolves. Let's get that highlight. Wolverhampton Wanderers are the worst team in the league, and Chelsea reminded them of exactly that. Then let me get your thoughts.
Oh yeah, I know, and we still had to do a job, yeah. So for me, I think it was clear that Wolves are in trouble. They just sacked their manager. They are in serious problems. So coming to the bridge, they knew it was going to be difficult, and Chelsea themselves needed to prove a point. After winning against Spurs, wanted to at least and dropping points during the Champions League midweek period. So I feel they just wanted to make amends for it, and this was the best, time to do it. And I was impressed with the coordination, the fluidity. If you hadn't won this game, I would have been surprised. I think they could have even scored more. They were a bit wasteful in the first half. So I just like the momentum. I think what Maresca has done is to get this team playing in a certain way, and I like the fact that they seem to always be on the front foot, but it's always been about inconsistencies. They are playing well today, winning well. The next moment, so it's been like blowing hot and cold moments. But there's also been injuries at the back, and that's something that we have to take notice of. I've always maintained that this Chelsea team is not bad. I just felt that before the transfer window, I just felt that we needed an experienced defender and then
Centre back, that is?
Centre back, probably another one.
But you've got Tosin.
Coach. You see, we have some leadership issues at the back.
Adara Bill, your good friend.
You see, we had some leadership issues at the back. And I thought that we needed to get to that level where I could say that Chelsea was competing for the league. And because we didn't do those things, that's how come I don't consider Chelsea as...
If I give you money to buy a centre back for Chelsea, who are you bringing to
They've got Tosin. What are you doing?
Coach, I'm telling Coach that I'll loan him Marlon Gusto for 2 weeks.
No, we don't want
because you see, Marlon Gusto has improved a lot.
Marlon Gusto has been
because
balling.
And funny enough, you see, Coach made a comment before the PSG final that Marlon Gusto will go to the
he concentrates on his head.
Exactly. And you know that he had a great match in that final.
If I'm the head coach,
probably was man of the match.
Yeah, and ever since from there, he's improved.
Yeah. If I'm the head coach,
I want coach to keep on criticizing him.
If I'm the head coach, they'll be pulling his head. I'll be telling you, we come and pull his head.
Gusto has graduated to a full
but he's done so well.
Ponytail now. Yeah, but I think
Chelsea's fullbacks have been, I think, some of the best in Europe this season.
Yeah.
Correa
exactly.
and Malo
because
Gusto.
Kudus had a hard time dealing with Correa the last time because Correa was everywhere.
Oh, he pocketed him all.
Simple.
And that's very hard to see, like anybody's done to Mohamed Kudus.
Exactly.
It's very hard.
Because there were times that he was shoving him off and all of those things. So he's a very solid left back. But one player I really want to commend is Caicedo. Trust me. As at this moment, I think he's the best DM in the league. Yeah. He's playing at a certain level where you feel that 100 million was should have been more.
If he keeps scoring those goals and keeps doing his job.
Because he's taking charge of that midfield and he's doing things that you don't even expect him to do. Because we knew, before he came to Chelsea, we knew about the energy, the tackling, but he's even getting in position and scoring,
making passes, scoring goals.
Long range, a lot of things, things I'm yet to see from Man United team. So you see, a lot of long range goals. I know coach has been admiring those goals.
But last week,
he admitted he was the best DM in the business now.
That's nice. It's good.
Yeah. Let's get more highlights. This time, let's take that game between Aston Villa and AFC Bournemouth. Villa last lost to Liverpool Football Club. This time, they were recovering from that one. Bournemouth started the season pretty decently. They've been a little shaky in the last couple of matches. Let's get the highlights on this one. Good to see Villa having fun. It wasn't so fun at the start of the season. Dennis, let me get your thoughts on this one quickly. Semenyo missing a penalty, Villa winning dominantly at home.
Yeah, and for me, I'll give credit to Unai Emery because they started the league really poorly. Talking about Aston Villa, there was a time I felt like I was even worried for the coach because I think they had lost consecutively for about 3-4 games. They're not getting the point, and the way he's managed to turn this team around just tells you the caliber of coach he is. And I feel like he's gotten them playing like they were playing last season, and I feel like that's the thing about these teams when you go beyond expectation and you perform very well in the season, and that pressure comes with it. You feel like you have to stay there or go above. That's where the pressure comes for a team like Aston Villa. And I think that was something that probably we were struggling with initially. And for them to find a way to, come back because they beat Spurs at the London Stadium and had some very good wins, subsequently. So I'll credit him. I think that they are playing really well now. But for Bournemouth, I was a bit disappointed because to lose by 4-0, they were really shambolic in the game. Even for Semenyo to miss a penalty, looking at the kind of form he has been in recent times, it tells you the kind of game they had. But for me, a team like Bournemouth, they can't win every single game, to be honest. And there'll be rough patches as like this when you're going up. So I feel like it's just one of those games where they didn't show up. It's a long season. I think they've started very well. These things will happen, but it's always about how you recover from it. So I believe that subsequently they will get back into their groove.
Bournemouth to get back into their groove. Let me read a few messages. We'll take our next break here on the show. This one here says that I hope my team Chelsea keep their consistency alive. Fred from Madina Oyarifa. This one here is from Kweku from La Paz. Says Arsenal's style of play is too predictable. I don't know why they spend all the time making so many unnecessary passes in their opponent's goal mouth instead of striving to score more goals. This one here also says that, hi Ben, with regards to Spurs, I think if Solanke is fit, he will help with goals. I want to find out if Samba O'Neill of Kotoko can play for Ghana. That guy, to be honest, if he gets proper facilities and a good club, he will be great. Don't know his age, but if he makes it to Europe or abroad, he will make his mark there. Brilliant defender. Great show. Tell coach to give us Apeke, Maguire, run, and Wakasu jogging skills. And these guys been watching Scorecard for a long time.
A very, very long time.
Dan from Ablekum, I think I read that. Okay, so you talked about the malfunctioning slot machine. We'll be getting to that in a bit. Let's take our next break here on the show. When we come back, we have more tactical analysis for you. Stay with us here on Scorecard. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Scorecard here on Channel 1 TV. Let's take the action to Manchester, where City were up against Liverpool. Now, Liverpool said that they had found some resurgence in recent times after beating Aston Villa and then also beating Giants Real Madrid. Well, the litmus test was Pep Guardiola in his 100 or his 1000th game, basically, for Manchester City as a manager. It was a game he was probably determined not to lose, and that's exactly what happened. Let's get the highlights. So comprehensively beaten by Manchester City. Let's get the tactical analysis on this, coach.
I think Arne Slot is the cause of his own problem. He used the same team against Real Madrid in midweek. They bent a lot of energy. Against Real Madrid went 4-2-2-2, very narrow. So you can afford to play Florian Wirtz as a left winger, but decoyly get him to move infield. Today he tried doing that. And when you watch the way Pep Guardiola set his team up, Man City, their right back and left back are not specialists in the position. They are makeshift right and left back. So I would have thought that in a big game like this, if you want to expose a makeshift right or left back, you put a natural winger there. I don't know why this man doesn't seem to fancy Federico Chiesa. Today was a perfect statement that says that he just doesn't fancy Chiesa. At the time where Liverpool were struggling, I thought the person to have brought in to give them that form of a bit more tenacity or intensity to their game should have been Chiesa. He introduced what? Cody Gakpo. He came and he was walking all over the place as if there was nothing to be contested for.
Gakpo.
Now, if you look at this Liverpool goal here, this is Mr. Verbs. Look at the gap between he and his supposedly.
I think it's this one.
Oh, sorry.
The tick, yeah.
The tick. He and this one. There you go.
Yeah.
If you look at this, he and the supposedly direct opponent, he kept moving infield.
Yeah.
And Pep kept telling Man City to go. When he go, let's go to the ball and let him. And look at it. At this time, look at the gap.
He has so much time.
Too much time. If you watched it critically, let me play. Look at it. If you watch it, look at the time. He could do this before floating the ball into the back of them. At this level, in this league, that is not acceptable. And then Slot, until the goal came, it was evident for like 15 minutes continuous. Man City were just exploiting that position. They were just because Florian Wirtz would not stay as a left winger to match the rank of the player. And that to me was very poor. This was, again, a complete giveaway. And it has to do with the tactics of the coach. Is it by force that he should play him? He's over 118 million pounds. He's not found his feet. If in order for you not to increase the pressure on the young man and completely dent his confidence, get him to sit out, get him to observe, and get him to learn. And then when you throw him in, it's a confident matter. He's down in belief. He's down in confidence. Don't stop exposing him. Because shockingly, nobody's talking about him. Manchester United bought Anthony for 85 million. You remember? He started so well in his first 3 games. He scored. The moment he started dipping, it was the talk of the town. This is a 118 million pound player. He's here to score. He's here to give an assist. Nicodemously, People like my host here, they've kept quiet on the matter.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You will know what I'm talking about. Let's go on. Nicodemusly. Now, watch this. This is the Liverpool's second goal. I don't know, but I don't know whether, was he fatigued? I don't know. If you roll this, look at Man City. Let me roll this. Look at it. Look at it. Stop.
So much space.
Look at the line. You get, yeah? This is shocking though. Look at the line. And then look at the gap. Let me do it again. Look at the line and look at the gap here. Look at that. Look at that. Every single Liverpool player so deep
in the box.
In the box.
Yep.
One would have, that was a corner. Man City were passing the ball from Doku to Foden, from Foden back to Doku. Naturally, you should step out. Step. Because you could see the space here.
Yep.
And nobody came out to step. And look at the time. This is what? Gonzalez. He's not a Rodri. He's an ordinary DM.
Probably they didn't trust he could.
They're probably daring him to shoot.
Exactly.
And then look at Van Dijk. Look, I don't know, but the replay will show that. Look at Van Dijk.
Static.
I'm sure he was blaming somebody in there. That's what he does.
That's what he does. Look at him. How do you block the ball? Look at, he's doing this. You see that? You see that? You see that?
Defending via
What is
aura.
that? You should be blocking the ball this way.
Yeah.
You can't be doing that.
He does it a lot.
You cannot be doing that.
Showing his backside
What is that?
to the action.
You can't be doing that. You cannot be doing this. That is unacceptable. Liverpool again considered a second very, very bad goal. Look at the third goal. Look, that was what completely took my breath away. The recovery and the sideways, diagonal, vertical shift. Everything they got wrong. Look at the shape of the team. The ball was far out right. Man City got the ball. The press was very weak, and there was a long diagonal that unleashed. Watch you. After this stage, after this stage, after this stage. I don't know whether that is the tactical ploy that Mohamed Salah is not supposed to fall back. This is Salah's direct opponent, O'Reilly, the Man City left back. He has come, or he's given Man City the win because the game was overly crowded there.
Yeah.
So he raised his hand. You could see, we were doing the game on the Football Republic. You could see him raising his hand and then moving. Naturally, one would have thought, even if you've been told not to defend, at least follow him.
Yeah.
Because you're also watching. Look at how vulnerable your team is. Just follow him. To just go and give your team some form of cover. Salah will not do that. For me, I don't know. If he's not going to track the fullback, it's either you change his role as a winger and get him to play as a number 10. I have said that I believe he will be a better number 10 than Florian Wirtz because his legs are gone. He cannot be going. Even last season, 2 seasons ago, he was not tracking.
And he has shown that he can pick a pass.
He
Last
can pick
season,
a
he
pass.
led the league in assists.
That's it. So put him in an area where he can affect the game. The coach is not ready to do that. Now, when you continuously roll this and you pause this. Again, look at the Liverpool setup. There was no DM.
No protection.
Where was them? There was no DM. McAllister, Gravenberg. This, I think, is Gravenberg. Yes, that is Gravenberg. But where was the partner? And this is Doku. You see, he can do this thing completely very stout, strong on the ball. Credit must be given to Doku, to be very honest. That is breathtaking. Again, look at McAllister. When Doku did that, I think the intent to block the ball was so poorly executed. You should be throwing yourself at the tackle. You see, you cannot do this. I don't know what sort of blocking. You cannot do this.
Half-hearted.
Yeah, I think you are blocking as if you cannot do that. I wonder.
What did you do?
No. I wonder. No, but you saw it. Let's just watch him. Watch him there. Watch him.
Goodness me.
Just watch McAllister. Do you think if the intent was, we saw the Arsenal game where when Arsenal nearly won the game, we saw how the Sunderland defenders threw themselves at the ball. But you are doing this. You're not even watching. You're doing this.
That's it.
What
It's
sort
a,
of
it's a
block?
lazy,
Or looking
a
block.
lazy way to defend.
It's a very lazy way to defend. Again, some of these things are attributed to what? Fatigue. I think Anislot should have refreshed this thing a bit. The likes of, and he's got some two other, I don't know why.
He has the good bench.
I don't
if
know
he wants
why
to
he's
refresh
not-
the team.
Because they pressed a lot against Madrid.
Yes,
so,
they did.
So the energy.
So
they
he
lost a
should
lot of
refresh
energy.
the team. Introduce an Endo. I don't know what that boy has done to him.
Endo and Chiesa, I'm sure he has some
I don't know,
problems
but
with them.
I think it's becoming personal. And yes, it is his job. He will be held responsible.
Yep.
If it doesn't go well, he gets the sack. But at the end of the day, I think he should be doing better. Should be doing better.
And Slot definitely should be doing better. Like I have said, I've given my opinion. Liverpool need to fire Slot. I don't know why they are taking
You said
long.
he reminds you of who?
Wabesakin. Oh, Coach Nini Wabesakin. I'm telling you, if they are serious, if they are a team that wants returns for their investment, they need to move on from the manager. It's very easy to be hung on the title he won. Yeah, he won a title in his first season and all of that, but this is clearly not working out. So they'll probably have to move on. Anyway, let's move on with the highlights. Let's go to Spain and let's do Vallecano versus Real Madrid. It was a goalless draw, very frustrating. So Real Madrid have gone 2 games now without a win. Let's get the highlights. So Real Madrid Football Club, they're dropping points again on a weekend where Barcelona have picked up all 3 points. Their game just ended a while ago. 4-2 is how they beat Celta Vigo. Lewandowski with a hat-trick, Lamine Yamal getting in on the action as well. Dennis, quick thoughts on Real Madrid. First defeat to Liverpool, now draw to Vallecano.
Yeah, and for me, for Vallecano, is another struggle at that home at that ground, and it's the last time Real Madrid won there was in 2022 when Benzema scored the goal. That should tell you how they've struggled at that ground because they've practically, I think they've drawn the last 3 and lost 1. So they've basically been struggling at that. And I was
Boogie
yeah, Vallecano is a proper boogie team for Real, and I was expecting them to show up in a different way, but what I didn't understand was the fact that Coach mentioned something about energy. I expected Madrid to change a bit because there are players in there.
They have enough depth to shake up their
of
team.
course. So I started to see players like Rodrigo, Trent coming in at right back because the midweek exertions are there. You can't be oblivious of it because if you go to Anfield and go and play a 90-minute game and get beaten, there's a lot of energy that is being wasted. It's not like
and that was a very intense game. That game was very intense.
And it's not like there's a lot of depth on the bench. There's Endrick, there's Rodrigo, a lot of players you can make, but he didn't do that. And Vinny started the game. As to how Vinny even played 90 minutes at Anfield, I didn't understand. So I think Alonso has
wanted to please him for benching him during the Clasico.
And that could be his undoing because he has to be very firm. Because I just have a feeling that because he took him off the last time
and he was upset,
meaning that he went to Anfield, was very abysmal and completed 90 minutes. I didn't understand. So I admit that the Madrid team has improved this season, but there are also issues with the team. And I think that, I don't know, I wonder if they really thought about it last season. Because if you realize that Madrid plays in a certain way, they're always trying to find space and placing the ball for Mbappe or Vinicius. So they put the ball through for him. Either Gulak passing it or Bellingham passing it. But the other thing is that there's no alternative.
Yep.
If it's not working, what happens?
And we saw that in this game.
Yes, even at Anfield. And there were some years ago when Madrid had Joselu on the bench.
Yeah.
So when it wasn't working, Joselu could come in as a striker and play in there. But in this Real Madrid team, you could see that there's no pivot.
Even previously, they could get creation from the fullbacks. Carvajal, Marcelo, at the point were creating from the front.
They have is Jude, Vinicius, Bellingham consistently, but from the bench. And what I've also observed is that players like Rodrigo seem to be losing confidence because they're not getting game.
Rodrigo's gone close to 20 games without scoring.
Because and he's been bad. The few times he's come on this season, he hasn't looked like himself. And I don't
doesn't look like he wants to be there.
Exactly. And I think that's something Alonso has to work on because it shouldn't just be, and that's the strength of Ancelotti actually. It's about keeping the whole team happy. Even there were times that we knew that Joselu was playing like 10 minutes, he comes and he's very motivated to score.
Yep.
So he has to find a way to keep all the guys happy.
Very important.
Because you need the whole team to be able to make the impact. So the fact is that they dropped 2 points, Barcelona won, meaning that the gap has come back to 3. So it's going to be a long season. I think this Real Madrid team still has a lot of improving to do.
Let me get more highlights. Let's go to Italy this time, and let's do back-to-back highlights. Let's do Parma versus AC Milan. The two teams split points in that game, and then we will do Bologna versus Napoli. Bologna beating Napoli by 2-0. So let's get back-to-back highlights. Welcome back. So let's get into the AC Milan-Parma game. 2-2 is how it ended. Very disappointing for...
Mas Allegri
Yeah.
will be mad. Knowing him, his teams hardly throw away a 2-0 lead.
Yeah.
And if you look at the manner in which they threw away that lead, a lot could have been done, especially on the second goal, the one that made it 2-2. The defenders were called ball watching. None of them attacked the ball to defend it. And the guy who eventually headed the ball came from behind and then just nodded the ball into the back of the net. There was lack of communication. Even the goalkeeper, the French international, he thought he was just going to pick it up. And then the guy just... Normally, you have to prompt your defenders that they need to be awake to the situation. And that was a very bad goal to concede. On the part of Napoli, I don't know whether it's another Champions League hangover, because the Napoli I know should not be losing against Bologna. They've got enough quality to at least go into the Champions League. They didn't perform. One would have thought that coming back home, you try and stamp your authority.
Yeah, missing Kevin De Bruyne though.
Yes, since he left, their performances have been
shaky.
Very shaky. And for me, Antonio Conte will have to stay awake. I've not seen the best of him as a manager in the Champions League. It's like anytime he comes to the Champions League, he just dispatched off as if he's
in fact, he has earned a notorious reputation as a league guy who doesn't do well in cup competitions.
And I don't get it. What changed?
Consistently.
What's the change there? I think he needs to look at himself, because I see him as one of those very established born winners. Even during his playing days, he was winning. As a manager, if you don't give him what he wants, he's out. He said, give it to me, I'll show my mantle. And if you are just a domestic champion for the sort of team you coach, that is unacceptable.
Dennis, quick thoughts on Milan, 2-2, and then also Napoli.
I think Coach mentioned it, because for you to lead by 2 goals and you know, lose it, and they didn't lose, but then to allow Parma to get into the game and score 2 goals, I was a bit disappointed if it happened. And for Napoli, they seem to be losing a lot of... I don't know, they started well, fine. You mentioned Kevin De Bruyne, but I just feel that they won the league without Kevin De Bruyne last season, didn't they? So I expect them to do much better than they are doing, but I just feel probably it's just a bad patch. I mean, just a bad patch, and I feel that probably
they'll bounce back.
They'll bounce back,
Let's finish off the day with some Bundesliga action. Bayern Munich dropping their first batch of points for the season. It was a local derby against Union Berlin, ended 2-2. It was a game that was literally finely poised. Bayern could easily have lost this game. In the end, the two teams split the points. Let's get the highlights. Harry Kane is a delight to watch. That pass, that finish, fantastic play.
I think in recent times, he's the best footballing number 9. His game is not only about goals. He can play. He really, really can play. Look at the pass he gave to Luis Diaz. That was all Luis Diaz should have done to finish, and then they'll all go to Harry Kane to go and celebrate. But Bayern Munich, again, they are yet to lose this season, but they'll look at it and say, yes, it was a difficult game. And it was 2-point drop. But look, another hangover, don't forget, they had to dig deep in midweek against PSG to win at away to the Stade de France, where I believe they went a man down. They play a lot of the game with 10 men, and that actually had a toll on them. Because watching this game, we were doing the game alongside, you could see their intensity just dropped. And they got an awakened call when they conceded the second goal. Clearly looked and said that we are going to lose for the first time, and they didn't want to lose against their local rival, so they had to rescue it.
Thank you very much, Coach. Thank you very much, Dennis. And thank you to all of you who made time to watch Scorecard tonight. I'm Benjamin Iketia. Same time next week, Scorecard will be back on your screens.